Welcome to Chapter Sass, the podcast where we deep dive into the books that make you blush, gasp, and maybe even think a little. I'm your host, Season, and with every book, I'll be joined with a new co-host with their own hot take. From spicy romances to messy love triangles and all the glorious chaos in between, we're here with a fresh perspective to unpack the stories we love, question what we think we know, and explore how the book speaks to us. Things might even get a little sassy. This episode is rated mature and will contain spoilers. Let's get into the first chapter. I also just wanted to send a quick disclaimer. As we all know, in every fantasy book, there are often some names or locations that we might pronounce different than the intended pronunciation, and that definitely happens during this episode. I just want to apologize in advance and just know that we definitely didn't mean it, and we love this book, and we want to continue to review it. Thanks, everyone. Welcome to Chapter Sass. Hey, Yari.
What's up?
Today we'll be covering an Heir of Darkness and Ruin. This is the second book in the Daughters of Chaos series by Mina Brower. We will be doing chapters 43 to 56, so essentially till the end of the book. This will contain spoilers. I also just want to add that I think in these last few books, like just trigger warning, I think there's a lot of abuse sort of in the last book, and the topic that we're going to discuss, I think also like covers a little bit about that. So just trigger warning, we will be covering like abuse, DV. So, just keep that in mind. Hey, Jody, what are you drinking?
I'm not as fun and fascinating as you. I just have some water in my really cute tumbler.
There's nothing wrong with water. First of all, no one has to be as well. Thank you for calling me fun and fascinating. Things. No one needs to be as fun and fascinating as me. I have 2 drinks, as that you guys remember the last time. I'm not going to drink one, but I did want to show you this. If you can see, I was trying to create like the cosmos, like space.
Yes, so
The
cute.
ice has melted, but there was like heart ice and moon ice and star ice in here too. I do have a picture of it. So like once I post this if anyone's not like watching this and you're just hearing this, I will post this like social so you have it. I might make this drink again in like a bigger cup that has like a bigger lip, or I don't know what you would call it. Just so I think you would see the ice better. Not that you didn't see it in here in my pictures, but you may. But this is essentially just a tequila soda.
Cute.
And I got the blue. I'm very kind of against like artificial blue dyes. I don't know why. Like I don't eat like blue Jolly Rancher. I don't honestly like blue alcohol. I just don't. But this is, I believe it's called sweet pea flower like tea, and it's naturally blue. So the blue is from that.
But glitter is fine. You can drink
Well,
glitter.
I can do. Yeah, never mind. I'm very selective what I put in my body. Joking behind. Glitter all the way. Then the next one, and you can't see this either, so I'll have to like post it and look it to my social media, but I have an espresso martini, which is absolutely my fave, with a snake eyes. I got a snake ice mold. It looks very good in the picture, so just look out for social media. And this represents, like, as we cover this, like Sethos transformation into snake and black and all this. I also like my espresso martinis with tequila, reposado tequila, so I don't do vodka. Also, this drink is just gonna represent like a some love that might be happening soon. So in space and maybe in the astral plane. Look how beautiful that looks.
I'm like intrigued by it. That's so cool.
So, and you'll see why I picked these drinks to be those drinks. I'm not going to drink the tequila soda. I will pass that to someone else in my household later on, but I will sip my espresso martini with reposado tequila.
I would actually, yeah, that sounds really good. And you know what? Shame on me, because I took tomorrow off work and I should be having a little drinking.
Yeah, I'm working from home tomorrow. I mean, this isn't going to get me anything. But it's a weekday. I'm not trying to get like lit right now. Okay, and now we can go ahead and get into our next chapter. So chapter 44. So Renna wakes up in her room and she's furious with Sethos. As we remember, Sethos, last time we spoke, tried to make her use her powers to kill three Fae and she like passed out and he like portaled her into her room. So she is waking up and she's furious at Sethos. He knows everything that she went through as a child with her mentor, aka her father, and how he forced her to use her magic. Like she's remembering, like remember her dad made her kill as a child, like use her magic to kill. She's also like thinking to herself that Stethos has also been through a lot and she accepts like what he's been through, but like none of this, just because he went through this doesn't mean she has to do X and he shouldn't force her to do it.
Right.
But she
Still not
accepts
cool.
he
Yeah.
yeah. She accepts that he needs to go through this, but she's like, I'm not gonna be your executioner. So, and she knows this was not advised. Like Stethos, did not advise this, but she decides that she's gonna portal to a person. So she portals to Viserys. I'm just gonna get in my little Nira soapbox one more time. We couldn't portal to Nira. What? Uh, so Renna portals like to the like when she portals, she's on the other side of like her portal and she's taken to the dungeon and she's very confused. She's like, is this Viserys? Like she doesn't understand why she's here. All she can see are all the cells. And some of these cells have prisoners in them. And she's just now sick because she knows that Sethos did this. She knows that this isn't there's no excuse for this. But then there's one cell that is like glowing kind of like a green color. And so she goes to it and she finds Silas. Silas is not responding. She's scared that he's dead at this point. So she's like praying at this point, please do not be dead. And so she sends like healing magic to him. And he finally like responds, like he like grumps and she is like, Silas, Silas. And he's like, Sethos, stop trying to trick me. And she's like, no, it's me. And she just thinks to herself, like, I can never forgive whoever did this to Silas.
Mhm.
And she thinks it's just Sethos. But like remember, it was Demira too. Like she hasn't met Demira yet, but
Yep.
Demira was the other half of this. So this is gonna be an interesting in like book 3, like when they talk, like, is she gonna forgive her sister? I'm not sure. But you have to remember it was not just Sethos. Technically, Sethos didn't even put him in there. Actually, it was all Demira.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, Sethos like hurt him more once he was already in the cell, but Sethos didn't do the first part, technically. So when Renna gets to like actually look at Silas because he's kind of far in his cell, she noticed how much the change that like sucked the life force out of you has like taken from him. So she calls upon the darkness to remove the cell bars, and then she also uses it to get rid of the change. And since the chains are now off Silas, he can start to heal. Remember, he's a god. And Rena asks like Silas, like, why are you here? And like in this prison, and he's pretty much saying that Sethos wants revenge, and this means going after all the celestial gods that attacked his planet when he was young. And now Rena is pissed because now she realizes, because this whole time she did not know Sethos wanted her to go after the celestial gods. So she is just like, he was using me once again. First, she wakes up pissed, and now she's just learning more and more information about him. Silas tells Rena to like wait here, so like wait in the dungeon. The elemental gods have a starcraft waiting for them. He just has to go get Ayana and like stay here. He'll come back for her. And Silas leaves. And then Rena starts to just think to herself, does she really love Sethos? And then she comes to the conclusion that she does really love him, but that doesn't mean she has to go along with everything that he's doing. And she doesn't listen to Silas and leaves the dungeon. So
Yes. That's our girl.
that's our girl. That's our girl. So Sethos is in the throne room and he had Demira dragged from her tower. And so she, in front of all like the noblemen and councilmen that are there, he demands Demira tells him where Velos is. Turns out that Amray had restricted Demira and Ayana's ability to portal out of Viserys when he was in command. And Sethos has kept that going on. So Demira could not have portaled Velos out because she can't even portal herself out. Like she is locked into Viserys. And the dark magic is now like raging within Sethos, and he just wants to hurt somebody. It literally like it's like I just need to hurt something or someone, and that's like all he's thinking. So Sethel tells Demira to kneel, and she refuses. So he uses his magic to make her kneel. And Igon now like steps in and is like, "You're going too far. Like you need to stop." And he's like, "You don't need to make her like kneel," but he does. He makes her kneel. And then Ayana now is begging for. She's there and she's just like, "Please stop all everything that's going on." And she's like kneeling, but she's just trying to be with her sister. And during all this, the dark magic is really starting to impact Sethos. Like the voice is talking to him more than it's like ever talked to him during this time. And Ayana's just begging, he won't stop. And he says he doesn't see Ayana as a threat and pretty much ignores her. But remember, long ago, he was like, Ayana's more powerful than Demira. So interesting that he doesn't see her as a threat. Maybe because she's
I
so like,
think
yeah,
I think
go ahead.
I think this is not Sethos at all. I think this is her daddy, like, trying to humiliate her, and then not even thinking about the other daughter, you know? He
Mm,
knows that Demira's got this
yeah.
strong will, you know? And so he's just focused on her and trying to humiliate her and making her kneel, and then the other daughter is just, like, in the background. He's not even I don't even think this is he's himself right now.
Oh, I
Otherwise
agree 1000%, yeah.
yeah.
I didn't think about that it was more the dad than Sethos. It's actually a very good point. I love that. Yeah. And yeah, Ayana's not the threat, even though she has like the most powerful. But I guess yeah, because she's like always in the background.
Yeah, and she's the
And
youngest, right?
yeah, she's the youngest. Yep.
Yeah, so, like, he's
Yeah.
not paying attention to her.
And so Sethos asks Demira again where Velos is, and she responds she doesn't know. Then Demira says some things maybe you shouldn't say, but she's mad. She's being forced to kneel. He's using his powers against her. And so she says things like, "You should have died. You're a monster. You don't deserve. You should have died alongside your mother." So now Sethos slash Amrang
Oof,
is,
low blow.
yeah, it was a low blow, and he's he is pissed now. So he targets Demira and he like lifts her in the air and like starts choking her. And Seth replies that he doesn't believe that she had anything to do with this, and that her and Velos had a joint interest in the mine being destroyed because that means that he wouldn't be able to pay for his army. So while she's like gasping for air, Demira's like, "You don't need money for the army. Clearly, your magic has no bounds. You can just make the army fight for you." And then the voice inside Sethos' head is like, "Excellent idea." And then again, remember, Ion like likes Demira. Like he like has a crush on her. We found this from the beginning of the book, and Ion like now physically like puts himself like in the middle and is like, again, you've gone too far. She can't portal out of here. She says she doesn't know what's going on. She would never hurt children. Like it's not her. And Igon points out that like this isn't even you. Like your voice is not your normal voice. Your eyes are now black because Stepha's eyes are supposed to be like a blue, and his eyes are now like black. And he tells his friend, "I told you not to interfere," and he kills what I would assume is his best friend because it's not like he had many friends. And
Yeah.
he straight up kills Igon in front of everybody, all because he was trying to save Demira. Stethos releases Demira and orders that like a large change be put on her because she's a traitor. And the chains essentially force Demira to pass out, and she's taken to the dungeon. And the voice is just telling Stethos like, "Well done." The voice also tells Stethos to clear the throne room. Um, And then the voice says, and I have this like bolded so I can read exactly. "Rulers are called to make hard decisions," the voice said. "And now you have to make another hard decision. It's headed to the throne room now." So, who do we think is on her way to the throne room? So, on her way to find Stethos, Rhaenyra hears like screaming and she heads towards the sound, and that's the throne room. So, she comes into the throne room and she only finds Stethos right now. And Sethos is like shocked to see Renna because he's like, "How did you get here? You've never. I also told you never to come to Viserys,
Mhm.
especially never come alone." And Renna confronts him and she's just like, she knows that he used her. She knows that he was behind the attacks at her university and that how he used her to find Taria. She tells him that like she let him have her, she let him touch her, she let him fuck her, like all types of things. And she's just like, she feels used. She's like, you were never honest with me. Sethos like is approaching Renna and he just tells her that like he's been looking out for her for years. Like doesn't she remember that like remember the lotus flower that
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
have?
he's
Like,
gaslighting her, yep.
yeah, he's like, I've been here this whole time. And she tells Sethos that that again, he's just like wrong for that. And now Sethos like physically has his hands on her and she's telling him, like, let me go, you're hurting me. And Sethos tells Renna, there were lives taken, murdered by your friends. What do you expect me to do? He saw an opportunity and took it. And before like Renna can say anything else, he portals them out of there. So I mean, they didn't really have a. I mean, they did in the book. There's like a little bit more dialogue, but like pretty
Mhm.
much, like you said, he was just gaslighting her the whole time and
Yeah,
like playing the victim, literally. Like there was nothing else. He had to do this. And so when Sethos portals them out, he portals them into the forest in Dea. And Renna just thinks to herself, like, she's not putting up with this bullshit. And so she tries to portal out of Dea to Taria. However, she's under like Sethos' shield, and that has blocked her ability to portal out. So Renna's just thinking, I just have to get out from under this shield, and then I can portal out to wherever I'm gonna go. I assume Taria because it said Taria before, but she just knows she has to get out from underneath this shield. So she hopes to like distract Sethos by like talking to him and just like ask questions and just get him to talk. And so she asked, like, why did you kill my father? And Sethos explained because he hurt you and forced you to hurt others using magic. And it's like, hey, dude, don't you remember you tried to make her force someone to kill people with magic? Like you
yeah, like with
literally
glass houses. Yeah,
glass houses. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, Sethel like explains for years that he protected her while she was Andorra, that he made sure nothing happened to her. He made himself like invisible and was like always following her. Like on her 18th birthday, she wished for aloud for Amory to die and for her to have a normal life. I killed him for you. And then he also says, Renna, I would kill Emery every single time in every single lifetime. So I don't know if there's any foreshadowing, possibly, but he's saying that he loves her so much that he would always kill Emery for her. And so Sethos tells Renna, he finally says, I love you. Like up until this point, he's never said the words I love you, but he now says like he loves her. And Renna tells him, this is not love. And Sethos is just like, you need to join me. Like he's just like not even listening to like what she's saying. Uh and she's like, she knows the pain he went through with his mom and like all his friends were slaughtered. And then Renna is just like, I don't think you'll ever see yourself as abuser and you'll never see me as a victim. Like you're literally forcing me to do all this. You are essentially forcing me to stand by you. So it this is a very intense chapter. So then Renna tells Sethos, like, you took my peace by attacking the university. And when I was having a quote unquote, a normal life, I mean. And then Renno asks, like, did Sethos purposely persuade her to pick her major for her PhD? Because remember, she was supposed to go to old, the old Xanor, I think it's called, the planet where she technically died in her first lifetime.
okay.
And he did. And it was because so she could find the celestial gods. And she again she is so pissed because she's like, you and Kel both lied to me, but you're the biggest disappointment of all because you knew at least Kel didn't realize that like all the stuff he was doing was like hurting me, but like you
Right.
knew that it did and you still did this
Yeah, and you're willingly manipulating me every
anyway.
chance you get.
Hmm. So now Stepha's eyes turn fully black and Stethos refuses to call off the attack on Taria. he says he needs to do this for his people. Yes, what they did was wrong, but you attacking Taria, you're doing the exact same thing that was done to you, meaning so many innocent civilians are gonna die, kids are gonna lose their mothers. Like, you're not just attacking the gods, you're attacking all these innocent people. And
Which
Sethos
is
responds with, "Good."
which is hilarious really quick because like, he was so against, "Don't put these children in the mines. Don't be killing all these," and then look at him,
Mhm.
like, this guy.
Yeah. No, honestly, literally, like, no words, no positive words.
You know what is he's so blind, he's just blinded by this rage in him that he doesn't even I don't think he realizes that he's doing everything he's like setting out not to, you know what I'm saying? For nobody can do it, only
Yeah.
him.
So Sethu like responds like, "You can't take away this pain, this endless torment I feel every time I see the faces of my people, their voices." So he's just gun ho on like he needs to have revenge.
Mhm.
And so Renna now is still trying to get outside the shield. She's still trying to get Sethos to talk. And then Sethos tells her though that this may be the last time they talk because he's gonna enchant his army to do his will. And then Renna thinks, you need a lot of magic to do that. What does this mean for his soul? And Sethos once again is like, you're either with me or against me. And like weapons are drawn on both Sethos' side and Renna's side. And again, they're like attacking each other. She's not attacking to kill, she's attacking to get away. He's not attacking to necessarily kill her either. He's attacking her to like get her put, but like she shoots an arrow at him, he's shooting stuff at her. He physically does hurt her. And then all of a sudden Renna feels the presence of her father in Sethos. And Renna is again just trying to escape. She does get like through the shield, but now he's just like going after her. And so she sees like a body of water, and so she's just hoping now because like she really needs her Durante to like come. She's just hoping she can get to water that like it will come. And so right before she like reaches it, Sethel uses his magic and like hits the back of her knee, causing her to fall. And then Sethel responds with, "You are making me hurt you."
Oh my I just saw red.
Um,
Look
yeah,
what you made me do.
yeah. Well, let's not take the Taylor Swift song in this too because Taylor is lovely.
I just wanna know
So
that that was a saying way before
it
Taylor.
was the same way before, but now when you say it like that, I think of her.
Ew.
Yeah.
Sorry, Swifties, sorry.
Daddy is not a Swiftie, but Season is.
It's okay.
Um,
You learn to live with it.
you do learn to live with it. I love you all the same. And so Sethos, now that Rena has like fallen, Sethos uses his magic with like a tree trunk or whatever to create a cell in the forest for Rena. And now she's a prisoner. So he hurt her and then put her in a cell, essentially.
Yeah.
And Rena tells him, "You cannot say you love me and hurt me. And you've been actively hurting me." And he replies, "It's because I love you and I want a life with you that I must do this. You will
Ugh.
see that I am right." Sethos leaves. Now, the next chapter, Sethos calls his army forward and he's just thinking he needs to avenge the fallen. And at first, Sethos just offers like strength and protection to like all his troops. And remember, his troops consist of like 100,000. I don't want to say Fae. I think it was like a whole bunch of different creatures, but his army has 100,000 creatures, the people, things. Yeah,
They're
that
100,000 strong.
yeah. Great way to say that, Jadi. Yes. So this means Sethos is literally giving each of them more power of like himself. And when Sethos does this, he's in so much pain. And then the voice asks, "How do you know the army will do as you say and will not turn on you?" There's only one way to make sure. And so Sethos calls forth like all the magic, which which will allow the magic to actually reach his heart. And his magic turns every single member of his army essentially into like a lifeless like corpse that will respond to all of Sethos' commands. And then Sethos' body begins to like change, and it is very hurtful. Like this transformation his skin is boiling. Like the description is like his skin is boiling. He couldn't breathe. Then a voice tells Sethos, "This is the price for ultimate magic. Your body is dying." The transformation takes place, and Sethos like looks down and he sees goat scales. He's no longer Sethos the man, but instead he's the beast. He's Amre's Durante. And that is why I made my espresso martini with an ice mold snake in it, because this is him in darkness and all the bad things
Yes,
he's
and I
gonna get.
like the gold rim.
Oh yeah, it does have a gold rim. Well, this is just like the cup I have, but yay! Um, and so then we finally get a Demira chapter, guys. We've been hearing all about her, but we haven't been able to hear her point of view. And so she's in the cell with the alarm chains on, and she's going weaker by the second. And she feels like commotion happening around her, and she doesn't know like what it is. And then she finally realizes that something is happening like on the other side of her cell wall. And Demira does want her father's throne, and now she regrets not taking Ayana's advice about with Silas. Like she's like, I should have just not put him in the cell. He was supposed to help, and like she's regretting a lot of this. And when her cell wall explodes, lo and behold, Ayana is there with Silas. He's gonna help no matter what.
Yeah,
He has
he
a
is
very good.
he's giving Kool-Aid Man. He's just like, "Hello, motherfuckers." Like, this guy, I stand him. Like, I'm obsessed with him. He's my favorite.
I love it. Yes. So the next chapter, we find Kel drinking at a bar. No surprise. And there's like
Shocking.
a shocking, yeah. And there's like a fake queen there, and she like calls Kel on his bullshit, and she's like, "You're an alcoholic," and she tells him to think of what you're doing to your girl, like when you drink, and looks over at Elle. And Kelios, I can't do Elle and Kel because it's just too much. Kelios then explains that like they're not together, and the queen's like, "You could have fooled me. Like you
No.
look like you are." And
Sure,
then
buddy.
Elle approaches Kelios. Elle was like flirting with some guys, and then Kelios is like, they just want to like eat you. And clearly Kelios is jealous. And Ella's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, it's nice to be wanted." And they pretty much have like a small lovers quarrel, like,
Yeah, it's like a
and then
flirty, like
yeah,
a
they're like flirting. We need to read between a lot of lines, yeah.
a flirty
Uh,
banter, right?
yes, yes.
That's cute.
So like Elle gets like frustrated, so she goes back to like their command center, and then she tells Cal that she's wanted him and never has stopped wanting him.
Mhm.
And she's only here trying to help save Renna because Renna means so much to him. And Elle asks him, like, does Renna even love you back? And Kelios can't answer. And then Elle's like, maybe you love her, but I don't think you're in love with her. And Kelios is just like, I can't do this. Like, we need to find Renna. Again, they're having like a little lover's quarrel here. And then Elle asks Kelios, like, do you find me attractive? And he doesn't respond, but like his body is responding for him. He is getting a little turned on. And then Elle tells Kelios the last night that he was in her father's kingdom all those years ago, they kissed. She wore, and Kelios is like, no, we didn't. And Elle's like, no, we wore masks. So did like my ladies, and we waited until you were drunk. And she says, I'm not proud of this, but she wanted to know what it felt like to kiss him and to be with him. They didn't sleep together, but they did mess around a little bit. And I would like to say, while she is not proud, we like if the situation was reversed and it was a man who had done that, like that's a no.
Yeah,
So
big
I
big
like,
no-no.
yeah, L, that's a no. Like we don't do that to people because you want to feel some type of way. Like that is
But
a hard
doesn't
X.
is it okay? I'm not saying it's okay, it's not okay. Either way is not okay. But he doesn't get drunk.
He doesn't need it. I do think he can get drunk, or he uses it to like they said before, like lose himself a little bit. So I don't think he may not get like drunk, but I do think the alcohol has like a little effect on him.
Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
at the
and
beginning,
he doesn't
I thought
need
it was like
yeah, and the thing is he doesn't need the alcohol either because he, like, doesn't need food or
right.
liquid to survive. So everyone's like, "You don't even need this, like, literally to live, and you're still doing
Mhm.
it." Well, you don't need alcohol in general to live, but yeah.
No, some of us do.
You don't need to
You're double
technically.
fisting drinks over there,
Okay,
so
literally, I'm not drinking. This is
I'm
soda
just
stream size.
kidding.
I'm not drinking the tequila, soda one because I was just using that for prettiness.
Just kidding.
Uh,
Yeah, that was super wrong.
yeah. Yeah, like, if the situation was reversed, we would be throwing our hands up, so it's not cool that she did that either, not at all. And so Kelly was like, "I can't do this right now, we need to find Renna." And Al leaves, like, the room, and it's like, mood killed. She literally threw himself at you, and you responded with all the wrong things. Not even one right thing, all the wrong things. So now we go back to Renna. She finds herself on the astral plane. Her physical body is still in a cell in Dea, but Renna asks for help on the astral plane. She's hoping that, like, the thing she spoke to before in the beginning of the book will hear her pleas. And Eros does answer. He tells Renna that Kelios is looking for her and that he can take her back if she wants. And Renna agrees because she needs to warn the celestial gods of everything that Sethos is going to do. And so Renna tells Errol where her physical body is. It's in Dea in the middle of a forest. So that he could find her. So, like, Renna, like, wakes up in her physical form now, and she can see Eros approaching her, but, like, Sethos made the cell so that, like, no power could, like, go through it. So, like, Eros's power, like, can't go through. And so he tells her, Eros says, he can't simply destroy the cell, but he says the antidote to any drug or spell is the exact opposite. So if Sethos is using Amray's magic, which is made up of hate, then the opposite would be like love, peace, happiness. And he's like, you need to use your darkness magic, but you need to, like, use it feeling these things. And currently, Rena's like, I'm not happy. She doesn't really have a lot of happy memories to draw from. So she thinks of her future. She thinks like she'll be happy with all of her friends. She can like picture it. She can picture like the celestial gods there. She like pictures a castle, and I'm really intrigued to know if this castle is another place, but I'll leave that out for 2 seconds. She also pictures Eros there, which she just met Eros, and Eros is not her friend. So, but she is picturing him in this like future, and so Rena produces enough magic to set herself free. And so then Aerith is like, we need to hurry, we need to get out of here. And then Aerith creates a portal and invites Rena to come. And it's nighttime in Dea. So like they both really haven't seen each other too much. So like now he can kindly see her, and he like takes her hand because he's gonna like portal them out. And his eyes widen at the skin to skin contact, and they both feel something. Arrow finally just says like, "Let's go," in a sharp voice, and it throws Rena off, and she's like, "Oh my god, like what's wrong?" And like she doesn't go with Aerith right away, like she's just trying to figure out like what just happened there. And Aerith replies with, "Hopefully not what I think it is." And so like he really is like, "We need to get out of here now." So she like goes with him, and they
Mhm.
portal to the starship. And Aerith tells Rena he needs to tell her who he is and who he is to her. And he needs to tell her now because they're on the same starship as Kelios, and like he's gonna arrive at any second because they know that they're there. Arrow says that like the Federation has tasked him and some other phase to deal with Sethos, aka kill him, because he's too much of a threat right now. And Rena is like coming immediately to Sethos' defense. And it's like, he is good. It's my dad's magic. Like, can we just like stop him and not kill him? And Errol pretty much says like he's gonna keep his word and he's gonna kill Sethos. And then Rena's like pissed, and she's like, fine, like what are you to me then? And he responds, I'm your mate. Then Kel comes in with a group of people. The end. So I'm just gonna twirl my little for people who can't see, who are listening to where I post it, I'm just gonna twirl my little, like, makeshift, like, astral plane space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
galaxies are exploding over here.
Galaxies are exploding. So she went from having an abuser to now having her mate. She has a fated mate now. Because remember, she is a fae, and Arrow is technically a fae also. So
Mhm.
before we get into our sassy topic, let's just go a little bit quickly on I didn't count how many times Sethos turned because he
It was like
literally
he would
dies. Yeah, and that's his this is the whole inspiration for the drink. So like he's he killed his body. That's
yeah.
where we are.
I
It's
feel like he's lost himself a
yeah.
long time ago, like,
No, but he, like, really like, there's, like, no coming back. Like, there's literally no coming back at this point. So,
do you
yeah.
think that? Because, I mean, Renna did say, like, you don't kill him, like, he's still in there somewhere, like,
Mm.
do you think that he's
Seth
totally
she
gone?
doesn't know that he's this, though. She Rena thinks that he is in his own body still. Like, I'm pretty sure she doesn't know any of this stuff that just happened.
Right, but, like, do you believe, as the reader, do you believe that he's gone? Like, that's it, he's gone.
I think he's, like, 90% gone. So I have a few theories, and, like, I mean, I hope this series ends happy. Like, obviously, we don't have the end of the series, so I don't know. But I'm thinking, um, Sethel's last bit of humanity that he may have is that he might kill himself because he's also killing Emre. And he did
Mhm.
say, "I will kill Emre in every lifetime." I think he's gonna have to just like sacrifice himself to kill him. But I think if he does do that, it'll be like his last sacrifice. Like he'll hold on to like the little bit of love he has for her. So no, I don't think he's like fully gone, but like I think he's gonna have like one shot to control his body, and that's gonna be his one shot to be able to like I think from here on out, his body's not under his control. As Amray, he's just gonna be like a little voice that like can't do anything.
Yeah, I love that theory, like, that was what I was thinking too, like, that would be so cool.
Yeah. And then just like character development, outside for Sethos, he's literally evil now. Again, hence my drink. I'm gonna have to. I don't have drink names, but I will when I post these. I'll
Okay.
yeah. How about Renna? Any character development for our girl Renna?
Um, I think she's still on the same level that I thought last
Mhm,
time, like, she's made so much progress. I wish she would let go a little bit of the, like, just being so naive, you
mhm,
know? But that's just who she is, like, this is, she's just, learning herself as an independent woman because,
mhm,
I know that she was by herself and at university and blah blah blah, but like she was never I feel like she never like took hold of herself, like, she was pushed around by her bestie, which
mhm.
where's this girl, right?
I already told you my theories on her. I can't wait if
You
we get
know.
her on again. Yes.
Yeah, but she let her really push her around and then, Sethos kind of took control of her. Like it just kind of like I feel like she's finally breaking out into her own. Um But at the same level that she was last time, I don't think anything has changed,
Yeah.
you know? But I'm curious to see how the knowledge of her fated mate, is gonna change her.
Mm,
Like that,
I think
I
book 3 is
cannot
gonna
wait.
be interesting.
Yeah.
I because I also have a little bit more tad bit information that I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to give away, so I'm not going to. But
Okay, okay. I will say, the fact that he is giving these feminist vibes, I think it's gonna play a part in her.
oh, accepting him?
Like, he's going to be like, you know what? I'm your fated mate, but I cannot tell you what the fuck to do. I
Yeah,
cannot tell you, like, this,
yeah,
and that." So I think she's gonna learn a lot from this guy.
yeah. I agree. Silas still my man. I don't
Yes.
know if Aerith is ever gonna take Silas's spot, but I do think Arrow could potentially be a close second because I agree with you. He is very much a feminist. He is you know, he like even told Renna, like, do you want to go back? He told Kel, like, I'm not gonna bring her back because you said this. Like, he's very
Mhm.
much like, let me ask permission. I don't want to assume. I agree. I do think
And
but
this
I
is
do think it's
all
gonna be
before him knowing.
yes.
This is all before that touch changed everything, like, so
Yeah.
that's what makes me feel like, okay, I think she's gonna be like, "What the fuck? I don't even know you," like, not
Mhm.
dive right into a relationship, let's say, but I think, he's about to really open her eyes,
Yeah,
I think.
I agree. Um, I also think though, because of everything she went through with Kel and Sethos was much worse. I think she's gonna be so hesitant.
Yeah.
Like she's not gonna trust easy, and it's like this is the person you should trust, but she's just not gonna trust as easy. Which you need to guard your heart. You know, you need
Which
to do.
finally, girl, finally,
Yeah.
you just fucking trusting people left and right,
Yes.
like, what the hell? But
Yes.
as much as I love Silas, like, he's not for Rena.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be with Diana at this point.
Yeah.
So
But even
again, he's a
before I was
god.
like
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm pretty
before
sure
I
he's
was
gonna
like,
be
"Oh,
with
I
Diana
love
at this
him."
point.
They're
But
not,
I
they're
do. Silas is lovely. And then any character development for Kel. I'll go first for this one really quickly. I feel
yeah.
like we went back because like I think before he was kind of realizing that he liked Elle or whatever, and now he's just like run and run and run. I feel like he went back a little bit. So I'm very interested to see now that he found the dynamic because it's clearly going to be awkward because you're going to have Elle and Renna there together.
Mhm.
So I'm interested to see
And
that dynamic.
why can't I remember his name? Her mate,
Errol.
um, Errol. So many A's. Um, yeah, like that, like the fact that he's also involved, like this is gonna
Mhm.
be a hot mess. I cannot
Yeah.
wait. But I
Literally cannot wait.
I still feel like he did make some maybe he didn't make some progress, but I think like his wheels are spinning now. The things that Elle is telling him, like the things we were discussing last time. He's never
Yeah.
mourned Rena, and
Yeah.
she's like, dude, you've been chasing this girl and
Mhm. I'm
like
standing right here.
I've been standing here,
Mhm. Yep.
like something stirred inside of him, I think, when they had that conversation, and I think he's gonna snap out of it.
I
Hopefully.
hope. Because he
For
does
his own
deserve to be
sake.
happy.
Like, sir, move
Yeah.
on.
And then world building. So me, it's kind of the same thing. If we're talking about world building in physical like locations, I don't think there is any. However, if we're talking about world building in like descriptiveness and whatnot, I think we got a lot. Like the whole chapter with Rena and Stethos when she's trying to escape. I could picture that so
Oh,
vividly. Like
so
I could
nice.
picture them fighting when Stethos finally changed and like him like overseeing like he's like on a hill and like the troops are like running to him and he's like casting like I could picture that perfectly like when he said his body died and he like saw the scales like I could picture that. So if we want to go with description wise, like my imagination was all types of running through. Let me just
Mhm.
tell you. So
No, I agree, especially,
yeah.
like, when she was, like, breaking free from that little
Hmm.
trap or whatever she was
Yeah.
in, like, that
Or
I
spell or
really
yeah. So I
yeah.
applaud Mina on that very much. Okay. Oh, let's just do theories before we get into our sassy conversation because our sassy conversation is a little serious. So before I bring
Oh,
it all down, do you have any theories? Anything you want to see in the next book? What are you looking forward to for book 3?
I have too many, like, I have, like,
Give me
written
one
my
good.
own story, oh my god.
Oh, same.
I'm just, like, in my head, I'm like, "Okay, this is what I want to happen." But I feel like we've just discussed it, like, I wanna see, Silas, like, really make it with my names are terrible, like, Aya
Ayana.
Ayana.
Mhm.
Um, I can't wait to see Kel, like, snap the fuck out of it and be
Mhm.
like, "Okay, I am chasing this woman who has a mate
Yeah.
who's
She
been
doesn't know
dead."
that yet, so it's gonna be
He
a rude
does
awakening.
Well, I know, and that's another thing that I'm like, "Okay, how is this gonna unravel? Like, how will he is he just gonna piece it together? Are they gonna straight up tell him?"
Mhm.
Like, I hope he just pieces it together and it, like, destroys him, like, not in a like, in a
No,
heartbreaking way.
no, I think that's good because I mean, it sounds bad. Like Al doesn't want to be the rebound, but maybe he needs to be destroyed to like find love, though.
Yeah, like, if he's destroyed and he can finally see Elle in front of him, like, "I've been in front of you for so long,
Mhm.
and, like, now she actually has the opportunity to, like, bond with him or, which I don't know if that it's very healthy. I think you should, if you get your heart broken, you should be the one to lift yourself up by the bootstraps and keep it going, but I feel like Kel's been down there for so long that he needs someone.
Mhm.
No, not that he needs someone because he had many people
Mhm.
trying to help him, but he
Mhm.
needs to be the one to be receptive, to allow someone in, and I think this is gonna be our girl. Like, you did
Mhm.
not let your friends in to help you, even your mom, like,
Oh, I forgot about the mom. Yes.
yeah, and your mom was like, "Dude, let this girl go, like, move on with your life," but yeah, I think it's time for him to, like, have his heart totally shattered so that he can let somebody in.
Love it.
Yeah.
Um, the only thing I want, yeah, because I pretty much said my theories too. I want more sister chapters though. Like this is the Daughter of Chaos series, and we got one Demira chapter. I mean, I understand why we got like one Demira chapter, like, but I hope in this next book we get much more Demira and Ayana chapters. Um,
No doubt. I'm
yeah,
willing
I
to
really
bet,
do
yeah.
hope we get much more chapters on them. I would love to just not even see the dynamic with Renna, but like just see their dynamic from their point of view because this whole time we were getting Demira's we were getting told what Demira did or didn't to Sethos, and we both established she was an unreliable narrator. I can't see you anymore. You know what I'm trying to.
No, Alexa, turn on window light.
Oh, so much better. I was like, girl, I am struggling to see you.
Oh, sorry.
No, no, it's fine.
Maybe you should put that in there to turn the lights on.
Climb on.
The clapper.
Okay. So now we'll go ahead and go to our last sassy topic for this book. And it's what I'm gonna say is a little bit of a lot. I just want a few things to be clear before I say this. So like Mina wrote like in the afterword in the back of the like story. She wrote like why she did certain things and I think they're very powerful, but she also kind of writes like the whole DV situation between Sethos and Renna, and
Mhm.
it's great. I encourage everyone to like truly read the whole passage. I want to be very clear that I pick and chose certain sentences and certain paragraphs that I'm about to read just so that we can get to the sassy topic. So like if you really want her whole point of view, like you should like definitely read the whole passage that's there. I mean, I don't like take anything out of context or anything, but like there is more than what I'm saying. So I just want to like disclaimer put that out there. Um, so in the afterword, Mina writes, in the Daughters of Chaos series, Sethel's ultimate goal is to avenge his mother and the fallen. We learn Sethel's evil goals were not only represented as he once planned to escape from Viserys with Renna before she died in her first lifetime. However, when Renna dies, Sethel loses all hope and chooses a different path, and which leads him to dark. So like in her first lifetime, he was gonna run away with Renna and like forget the fact that he wanted to avenge everyone. But after she died, that's all he thought about. So it is very important for me throughout an Heir of Darkness and Ruin to ensure Sethos never deviated from his evil course. I wanted a true villain with a moral code so skewed none could sway him. I love current stories where villains change for the girl, but this is not Sethos' story. Sethos has an unshakable belief he is meant to bring honor to his mom and people. I can tell you now that I truly love Sethos, but like Renna, I do not and will never agree with his actions. Writing the scenes where he was violent made me angry, and there were days I had to step away from him. However, there would be no story without him. Lastly, I want to address Renna and Sethos' dynamic. It is not healthy, and its patterns we see are all too often in our everyday lives. Renna had no one but Sethos to turn to while she was in Dea. She was isolated from her friends and her old life, and even though she suffered DV in the past and could tell Sethos was mistreating her, Sethos was all she had, and she didn't want to be alone. Don't get me wrong, I want Renna to succeed, but with Sethos' villain arc, I wanted to show the reader that sometimes victims of DV get trapped in subsequent abusive relationships, no matter how strong they are or how much magic they wield. As a person who's lived through DV, I want to show Renna's growth and like make sure it feels real. So my question, after hearing all that, my
Mhm.
question is, do we think like Mina achieved this dynamic with the readers? Is there anything you would have changed or like to add? Do we think it's important that a story is like written about these types of things?
I do. I mean, we know people, like real life people
Mhm,
that either have been through this or are in the middle of this or have gone through this, have liberated themselves, and for some sick reason ended up right back, you know? Um, and it's just oh, it's such a icky topic because it's real life, like shit like
mhm,
this really happens. And like she was saying, there are some times where you're trapped with this person. And it's easy for somebody to say, "Girl, just get up and leave." Sometimes you cannot.
yeah,
Sometimes the attempt to leave leads to, women getting killed by their husbands, or if you've got kids, like
mhm,
and you cannot provide for them, like this is the alternative is, going through this violence just to make sure that your kids have a roof over their heads. Like it's such a rough topic. I think it's good for people who don't know stuff like this to read about it, to you know understand. It's so easy to judge somebody and go,
mhm,
"Well, you're stupid." Like, just leave his ass. Sometimes you just cannot leave his ass. Like,
mhm,
that's just, you know. Eventually, I think you can with a lot of hard work or with a lot of community, but she didn't have any community.
mhm,
She was alone. So
yeah.
it's kind of like, I've lost the question that you asked me because I've been so like,
No, well, that was part of my question. My part of my question is it important? So you answered that. The other part is like, do you think Mina achieved showing this dynamic of Sethos and Renna to the readers? Like, is there anything you would have changed in how she portrayed this to us?
no, I think it was pretty accurate. Like he portaled her into this place, giving her no friends, and basically holding back in teaching her own magic,
Mhm.
so that she couldn't defend herself against him. Okay, he
Oh,
did
good
that.
point.
But
Yes.
she but she was like, you know what? While the cat's away, I'm gonna play. Like, I need
Mhm,
to learn how to do this shit." And thank God that she kept a lot in her back pocket because I think things could have been worse for her. Like, he attacked her several times. And I think if he had known that she's been toying with this Durante or whatever, like, he could have been a lot worse, I
mhm.
think. So, I'm not saying, keep all these secrets, but yeah, it's good that I think Mina painted a great picture. Like, this is the shit that happens what happened to her with this guy, but, ugh.
No, so I agree with, like, everything you said, quite frankly. I do wanna add some things to that, so, I do think it's important for us to learn about these types of things, and I think especially right now I think 2 things, especially right now in our current political landscape, however, like, people wanna, like, judge or whatever, like, women's rights are being attacked, however
Oh, yeah.
which they wanna put it, and if we take away one thing, it's gonna be very easy to start taking away other things, so it's just, like, kind of a very scary time to like live in as a woman. Two, I do think when we talk about like DV and when you say things like, "Oh, you should have left," I also think it's hard for everybody. So I'm not at all saying like my next statement. I don't want anyone to think it's like way easier than others, but I do think it's a smidge, a tight smidge easier now than it was like 20 years ago. Like when our parents grew up, because we're talking about like honestly, Jody, like our generation and a lot of people were first college like graduates, were first there's our generation is just like the first to do a lot
Yeah,
of those,
we're
not
breaking
saying
cycles, that's for sure.
right, yeah, like, not saying, we're women couldn't own bank accounts, like, what, like, 50 years ago, so, like, now we can. Again, I'm not saying it's easy at by any means now, I do think if a woman wanted to, she just there's a little bit more programs. But then we have to go into where are these programs, They're probably not in the areas that we need them to be in if we're being quite honest, like, if we're just gonna, like,
Mhm.
think about our, just the USA and whatnot. Um, so again, I'm not saying it's easier by any means, but I do think there are just more resources now than there were before. I do think more people might believe someone now more than before with, DV and things like that, so
Yeah.
I hope we just continue to go in this direction, we don't go backwards, by any means. I think Mina did a fantastic job at showing this dynamic with all this. And I'm gonna be honest, and you know me, I catch things early. I figure out, I put two and two together. Like, I actually didn't catch on as quickly about the violence that was going on. I did catch on to it the first time I read this book. I definitely caught on. I would say like mid book. I
Mhm.
definitely caught on. But since I went back and reread this since we were doing the podcast, and since I had already read the afterword, I was much more attentive, like in the first half of the book, that I think on things that I had missed the first time, and it really made me uh, see, oh, he's isolating her. Oh, he controlled her, and
He
I kind of passed those up the first time. Like I started to
Mhm.
figure out. I want to say mid story before he started to really hurt her, I was like, "Oh, he's, like, really controlling," but I there were certain scenes that I caught on before too,
Yeah, I
the
think
second time I read it.
when we first even in the first book, and I know you were like, "Oh, Sethos," and I was like, "I don't like that guy. I don't like him."
You
And you
were
were like,
right,
"What?" And I was like, "I just don't." Like, there's
you're
something
right,
about
you're right,
but it's
I did like Sethos. I do think we needed, like Mina said, we needed this story.
Mhm.
I like me a good villain story, and here's the thing, he did so much bad stuff to Renna, so we're not at all saying it was okay, but in his head, he really needed, and we talked about this in an earlier, like, sass question. He really thinks that this is, like, what he's like, his destiny, you know what I mean? Is to, like, avenge the fallen, like, to avenge his mom. And
Yeah.
someone who's, like, lost her mom, my mom died of of an illness, so, like, I don't know if it's natural causes, but, like, an illness, so but, like, if it had been at someone else's hand, I could only imagine that I would be, like, I would want some revenge on something, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I can, and as a child, like, and I feel that, and maybe I feel it 'cause, like, I also lost my mom, but, like, I feel when he's like, I need to do this for my mom, like, I need to do this for this. Like, there are times now sometimes where I'm like, "Oh, my mom would be so proud of me because I did X or I did Y," and, I did all types of stuff, so I hope she's very proud of me.
There's so many times where you'll do something and I'd be like, "Her mom will be so proud."
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I was like,
Like,
I
all
feel
the
my mom would
time.
be proud of me, But, like, I get it. I get his, like, need to, like, want that, and in his head, like, "Emery didn't do it, this didn't do it, this didn't do it," and so I just yeah, I get it, so but I think she did a phenomenal job. I can't wait to read book 3. We
Yeah.
will definitely discuss it here once it's out. Yeah.
I wanna go back to something because I was reading another book, the book you gifted me for Christmas.
Oh,
It
that's a great it has DV in it,
Ooh,
yeah.
that was rough. That was so rough because I'm just kinda like it's almost like nowadays, even though we've come a long way, we have our I mean, people are trying to revert. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Like, this it'd be your own family, the men in your family who are like, "You shouldn't be allowed to do this and that," like, and then to send you to a freaking asylum because they rather call you crazy
Mhm.
than let you live your life. Let me
Mhm.
live my life the way that I choose,
Yeah.
And, women, this is another thing. Women are actively leaving, running away to liberate themselves. And these motherfuckers, these lowlives just continue to follow them and chase them. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? So even though, let's say somebody does have the ability to pack up their stuff and get going, that who's to say that that's to stop
Agreed. Agreed.
man to, you know,
100%. Yes.
like there's so many stalkers out there and
Mhm.
these psychos who are just they cannot just let you live your life. Like
Mhm.
they are set out to ruin them,
Mhm.
like Sethos,
Yep.
he cannot just let anybody go. He has to, like you said, he just has this desire, this, power to want to just avenge, not realizing that
Yeah.
you're
Oh, I
doing.
did want to say this, not to like go off the DV thing, but kind of to go with it. Stethos is like wants to be with her no matter what. He put her in this cell to be with her. He now and during this interaction, she says, "I felt my father's presence." How weird would it be if, let's just say, a part of Stethos is still in this serpent, in Amray's serpent, and he's trying to go after Renna still, like, because he loves her, but it's also her dad. I just
Mhm.
think that, like, ew, dude, you're also my father. Get away. Like, we're
And
never
you're
gonna be
also and
together.
you're also my brother.
Oh well,
Let's not forget. No,
okay, but it's
I will
not
die
real
on that
brother.
hill.
They were adopted. They're not real
Hold
brother and
still.
sister.
Okay, and
They're
you're
not.
also my adoptive brother.
They're not real brother and sister. So
Okay,
technically, it's
okay.
okay. But the dad really is her dad. So
Yeah.
how weird would that be? Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. Also, we're ending this book here, and we started Hispanic Heritage Month earlier, like I think a week and a half ago.
Mhm.
Uh, so love that we covered this book. We did it with Mina Brower. She is a Mexican author. So love that we are covering her for this too. So we should all be reading at least one book. Let's just support any Latinx, any books out there. So to
Totally.
Mina, in my almost drank to Mina. All right, well that's all I have. We will start a new book next week. I have a new co-host. So I'll post some information, some fun facts about my co-host. But Jody and I will be at Book Harvest. So if you see us, stop by, tell us hi. We'll have things to trade and stuff. But that's all I have. So bye, everybody.